Okay, so I want to make a quick video about everything that has been going on before my battery dies. So today is the first day that I have really felt up to doing anything, so I decided to record a video. So this is going to be uploaded the same day as my announcement video, so make sure you look at that video first and then check out this video. Okay, so my last video I was explaining to you guys that, okay, surprise, I'm pregnant. And after after I recorded that video, I was saying that I was going to continue to give you guys a weekly update of my symptoms, how I was feeling, what's going on with me. But as you can see, that did not happen. Today I am currently 13 weeks and a day, according to the schedule that my doctor had put me on. On my first video, I was a little I think probably today I would have been like 12 weeks. I think I would have been 13 weeks on Thursday, but according to the schedule that my doctor put me on, I'm 13 weeks in one day. And the reason why I have not been recording is because I have been extremely sick, like extremely sick. So I wasn't able to keep my promise or my promises of recording every week to give you guys my weekly update. So here is my updates up until week 13. So when I recorded, I was 4 weeks, or maybe a little over 4 weeks. I was feeling fine, didn't have any symptoms besides the ones that I was saying, a little dizziness, just overall strange feeling. And so I was like, okay, you know, I can do this. This is going to be smooth sailing. You know, I was eating fine. Everything was perfect. So I thought it was going to be perfect. I'm going to take a sip of my drink here and I'm going to explain that a little later. So, okay, so fast forward to about 5.5 weeks. At the 5.5 week mark, we could even round it up to 6 weeks, I started having really bad food aversions. When I thought about food, it made me sick to my stomach. The smell of food made me sick to my stomach. And I was like, okay, this is not good, but it was manageable. So that went on for the weeks to come. So that was number one. My food aversions were horrible. Then I started having a weird taste in my mouth. This was 5.5 to 6 weeks as well. I had this weird taste in my mouth. I don't know if it was like a metallic taste or I don't know. It was just weird, like in the back of my throat. No matter what I did, I could not get that taste out of my mouth. But I was still able to eat. I was still able to drink. So I'm mostly stuck with ginger ale. And I would, you know, I would still be able to eat. I would still eat normally. So one thing that I had an aversion to was anything sweet. Chocolates, anything. Now mind you, I'm 13 weeks now and I haven't even had the hint of anything sweet. So I'm still having an aversion to that. Like I can't even really look at chocolate when I go in the store. Down the candy aisle, I just kind of have to turn my head the other way. But all things sweets, not for me. So I think that's a hint to, according to different things online, that you're going to have a boy is when you're not craving sweets. You're mostly craving salty, sour type foods. And I'm not really craving. I haven't had any food cravings. I'm just kind of like, okay, whatever I get, I'll eat. So I haven't had any food cravings. I just know I have had aversions to food. Okay, so after about the 5.5 to 6 week mark, now food aversions and I can't eat anything sweet. Nasty taste in my mouth. Those were my symptoms so far. Of course I wasn't showing. Everything was fine. Like I would still I was still going about my business. I was still working. It was towards the end of the school year, so I was still able to work and get through my day. I was sleeping a whole lot. Like, I would get off from work and I would take naps. So, fatigue. I was really, really tired. So, 6 weeks, fine. When I got to the 6.5 week mark, it seemed like every single last symptom hit me at the half week mark. Like 5.5, 6.5, 7.5. Everything hit me at the half week mark. So, 6.5 week mark is when I started feeling nauseated. Like I wanted to throw up. So, my first time throwing up, I never had morning sickness to say. And when I say never had morning sickness, I never was sick in the morning. I did have morning sickness, but it was at night. So I guess I had like night nausea, and I would be sick. This went on. These are my symptoms from the 6.5 week mark all the way to 12. So for 6 weeks straight, from 6.5 weeks to 12 weeks, these are my symptoms. So these are my symptoms that I had for 6 weeks. It felt like I was in hell for 6 weeks. Like literally, I thought I was going to die. Honestly, I did not think I was going to make it. I just knew that while I was over the toilet throwing up, I just knew I was going to pull something. I was going to throw up something that wasn't supposed to be thrown up in my body. But I literally thought I was going to die. Like that was it. Okay, so I started getting really sick at night. I would throw up maybe, I don't know how many times throughout the night. And it got to a point where the first night I would, I think I just threw up like maybe once or twice. And I was like, okay. And after I threw up, I would feel better for maybe about 20 minutes. I would feel better. And I said, okay, if this is it, I can, it's fine. But then after the 20 minutes, I still felt like I felt nauseous all freaking day. For 6 weeks, I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink anything. Water, which is what I needed, I could not drink. Like, I could not stand water. So I decided to try different things. I went to the health food store and I got the ginger candy, and that worked well for a day. And I guess, I don't know, maybe I chewed too many. But after that initial day, I couldn't even stomach the ginger candy. I guess because they had like some hint of sweetness to it, but it was just horrible for me. So I wasn't able to do that, which I thought it was going to work well for me. My mom was like, get lemon, try to suck on the lemon. But that's a different story. I'm going to explain that theory a little bit towards the end of the video when I tell you my other symptoms that I had. So, throwing up all the freaking time. It was to the point where it was so bad, I had to go to the emergency room. Went to the emergency room and they gave me, they diagnosed me with the extreme nauseous thing. I can't even pronounce it right. So I know the first beginning of it is like hyperemesis, and the second word starts with the G, but they call it HG for short. I can't pronounce it, but that is what I was diagnosed with, and they prescribed me in the emergency room. They gave me a 10-count prescription for Zofran. So, and then they also gave me Zofran in my IV, which lasted for about a day. The next day I felt really good. Like I even ate food the next day. But that night I threw it up. But I felt good after the fluids. Let's go back to my visit to the ER. So, they needed a sample of my urine. Of course, I couldn't pee. Like, they needed like a a certain amount in a cup, and I wasn't able to even pee. Like, I was maybe able to like squeeze out a little something, and I was like, I hope this works, you know. It just wasn't like, I didn't have anything in my system, so I could not, it was impossible for me to go to the bathroom. Like, I could not pee for anything. So while they were pumping me with the IV, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, you know, the first bag of fluid is almost over with. It's late. It's after midnight. I'm ready to go home. You know, it's all good. I have my fluids inside me, so I know that the baby is going to be okay. And so they came back and said, okay, you know, we're going to give you another bag. And he wants to do an in and out catheter. Mind you, I have not been hospitalized a day in my life. When I was younger, I did have surgery, but I don't even remember it. So when the nurse came in and said they're going to do an in and out catheter, I was like, on who? So that was an experience within itself. Now, mind you, I do not act a fool, and the doctor, I'm like, okay, you know, this is just part of the process, because I know that once I'm in the hospital in labor and delivery, I won't be able to act crazy, so I might as well just prepare for this now. So whatever. So they did an in and out catheter so that they can get some clean pee, just for them to tell me that I didn't have a bladder infection, which I already know I didn't have a bladder infection, but okay, whatever. So they did that, pumped me with the rest of my fluids. I was clear to go, and I thought that, okay, you know, it'll get better, take my Zofran. But then it's like so many, I go online a lot, so it's so many different stories out there about the study of Zofran. So I was just kind of hesitant to really take it. So I guess maybe if I was to take it like every 4, I think you're supposed to take it every 4 to 6 hours, maybe it would have worked better for me. But I was trying not to take it. I think for one day I was on a schedule where I would take the Zofran every 4 hours or every 6 hours, because once I took the Zofran, it made me feel better, and then it would wear off in that 4 hours. Now, when I was taking the Zofran, the tablet is a dissolvable tablet that you just set on your tongue and you let it dissolve. Now, it did not work well enough where I was able to eat anything. So he prescribed me a tablet of 10. It took me maybe about a week to make it through the 10 count. So that following week, I had a doctor's appointment with my OB, and I was telling her everything that went on. Stepped on the scale. I had lost 14 pounds from my first initial visit, from when I first found out I was pregnant. So I had lost 14 pounds. So I was extremely sick. Like, it was to the point where I was just, like, it was nothing left for me to throw up. It was horrible. In those 6 weeks, I would throw up, and I guess the pressure of me throwing up, my nose would bleed. And then I think maybe I popped something in my throat, because it was a little blood when I was throwing up. So I was like, I am not going to make it. My boyfriend, he's very supportive, but I don't know if he's used to, I don't know, he's just not used to this, or the type of sickness that I had with pregnancy. So he would kind of get frustrated because I was doing a lot of laying around. But people don't understand that unless you have HG or been diagnosed with HG, it takes all of your energy. So because of that, sometimes I felt like that he just did not understand. So he kind of thought it was kind of like, you know, he knew I was sick, but he felt like that if I put forth more effort, if I got it out my mind, it's just a mind, like I can overcome it if I try really hard to get up and go about my daily business, I would feel better. But that wasn't the case. I felt horrible all day, and especially at nighttime, because I would be up throwing, like I'd be running to the bathroom all night basically. So I would be up throwing up, and of course he's sleeping, and it looks like I'm about to cry, because I mean, like, it was super hard to just go through that, and then to kind of like be told that you have no reason to be laying around. So that just kind of hurt my feelings a little bit, to know that here I am going through this, but you're not understanding. If someone could just read an article about it, you feel alone, because you're going through it alone. You're the one that's in the bathroom throwing up. You are the one who cannot eat anything, who cannot drink anything. It's just hard. You're the one who is up until 3 o'clock in the morning. The only time that you get relief is when you are sleeping. So when you do fall asleep, but then you're expected to be up really early in the morning off of practically no sleep. So it was between the weeks of 6.5 to 12 weeks. It was difficult for me. It was really hard for me. And then added on the stress that I was worried about miscarrying, because I was throwing up so hard. So, but that's that. Extreme sickness, extreme nausea, couldn't eat anything, lost 14 pounds, ER visit, food aversions. I couldn't even smell like fruit juices, because he would drink juices, and I couldn't stand the smell of the juice that he would drink. I just couldn't stand the smell of anything. I couldn't stand the smell of the deodorant I was wearing, so I had to stop wearing deodorant. I couldn't stand the smell of the soap I would use, my shower gel. I couldn't stand that. I couldn't stand the taste of my toothpaste I was using. So I still brush my teeth. I just couldn't stand the taste of the toothpaste or anything. And the only thing that I could eat, and I think I started back introducing food to my body because I knew that I needed something, and the only thing I could stand to eat was fruit. And I mean, like, just plain fruit. It couldn't be in any type of juice or anything. It just had to be fruit. So I ate watermelon, and I was able to eat oranges. I drank smoothies. I didn't have a taste for bananas, so I didn't eat that. Yes, I would throw them up, but it was to the point where I knew I had to eat something. And as long as I got like some type of juice from the fruit, I felt like it was good. So, and I decided that if I'm going to eat something, it has to taste good when it comes back up. So I knew a lot of stuff was off of the menu, because one day I was feeling good, and I think it was the day that I was taking my Zofran, and I had barbecue chicken and some corn or something. And corn is some of the hardest stuff to throw up. So to this now, I don't even eat corn, and I'm able to eat. But when I was going through everything and throwing up, I was like, just let me eat stuff that I know is going to taste good when I throw it back up, because it's gross throwing up food nonetheless, especially when you don't have food in your system, and so you're just throwing up bile at that point, so everything tastes horrible. So if I was drinking like the fruit smoothies, if I was eating fruit, or if I was eating popsicles, once I threw those up, it wasn't bad. And then it was kind of like cool on your throat to throw it back up, because it didn't stay down very long. So that's a tip, you know, make sure you eat food that is going to taste good throwing up, or it's not going to be hard to throw up. Like, it's hard to throw up pasta. I was just going through a difficult time, a really difficult time. But now I'm happy to say that it is over with. Oh my gosh. Yeah, those were my symptoms between for the next 6 weeks. And towards week 9, I would say towards week 9, and still here now a little bit, which is why I'm taking sips of here, and talking helps. Talking does help, so I'm just taking sips here and there. But constant spitting, and it's normal for women who experience nausea during pregnancy for spitting. I did read that. So it was hard for me to even record a video without me having a spit bottle to spit in, or a cup to spit in, like, and you couldn't swallow. You know how when your mouth gets watery when you get ready to throw up? That's the kind of spit it was. It wasn't like the thick spit, it was like the watery spit, and if I were to swallow it, I would throw up. So it's just easier for me to like just spit it out, which is another reason why I was dehydrated, because I wasn't swallowing my spit or anything. So everywhere you saw me, I would have to have a bottle and spit in, and this would last until I woke up that morning, until late at nighttime when I go to sleep. When I'm sleeping, I don't, like, it just automatically stop. But up until that point, like, I would have to have a bottle to spit in, or a towel to kind of like drool on when I'm laying down. And to this day, like, I look at my boyfriend and I'm like, I don't even know how you even find this remotely attractive. Because I would have a towel, basically like a big baby with a bib, so that I can drool and spit. Like, it's disgusting. It's really disgusting. And it's just, and then for some reason, it's like mucus will accumulate in the back of your throat. And I'm going to try to go ahead and wrap this up, because my phone battery is about to die. But yeah, just a constant spitting. So those were my symptoms between 6.5 weeks to now. If anybody else experienced these symptoms, I mean, let me know. Leave a comment down there. So just let me know your experiences. I'm just so happy. I'm grateful to God that I am past all this now. And I'm feeling much better. Like, I just now started back taking my prenatal vitamins. So during the course when I was sick, I didn't take any prenatal vitamins for about a month. So that does worry me a little bit. But then I think about, you know what, back in the day, they didn't have prenatal vitamins. So hopefully everything's all good. But I just started back taking my prenatal vitamins, and hopefully everything is all good. At week 13, I would say my symptoms right now, my boobs are sore, and I have mild cramping at the bottom of my stomach. And that is about it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's about 25 minutes long, and I will update you a little later, and I will vlog you about my shopping experience. So until then, take care. Bye.